Clawing through the night, fear, ghost towns, and the stay that hooked me. I left the safety of giants behind and drove straight into uncertainty. No cell service, no clear information, just empty back roads and a growing sense that I might be making a mistake. I had just wrapped up my visit to Sequoia National Park, a place that grounds you, steadies you, makes you feel protected by time itself. Then I pointed the RV east, heading toward Death Valley National Park. The transition was immediate and unsettling. The roads thinned, the landscape emptied, and the place I planned to stay, I could barely find any information about it. No reviews, no photos that explained much, just directions that led deeper into isolation. By the time the sun began dropping, I realized this wasn't just a drive. It was a psychological shift. I needed a place to stop, but the road made me feel like I shouldn't be there at all. Fear doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it creeps in quietly, mile by mile, until you realize you're committed. Just when I thought I'd reached the edge of comfort, the story took a turn I wasn't prepared for. I arrived and was immediately greeted by Ricardo and his brother Jamie. Their welcome was warm, calm, and disarming. Exactly what I needed after that drive. They helped me get settled, walked me through the site, and showed me an incredible collection of vintage cars and memorabilia. Then, very casually, they mentioned something that stopped me cold. This place had been used as a filming location for the horror movie called Claw. They said it like it was nothing. As we continued walking, they shared stories about restoring the site, about preserving a nearly forgotten piece of American history. Their dedication was extraordinary. This wasn't kitsch or novelty. This was real, hard work driven by respect. And then, just before turning in for the night, they said something else. I was their first and only guest since they had taken ownership. That scared the shit out of me. I was alone, in the desert, in a place used for a horror film, with no neighboring campers. Instead of calming down, my fear turned into curiosity, which turned out to be a terrible idea. I looked up the movie called Claw and started watching it. Big mistake. Every sound outside the RV became amplified. The wind scraping metal, the ground shifting, the creak of the RV frame. I didn't sleep, I listened. And every noise clawed at my nerves. Fear doesn't fade when you're alone with your thoughts. Sometimes curiosity feeds it and makes the night feel endless. Morning didn't bring relief, it brought clarity. I made it through the night, shaken, exhausted, fully aware. And instead of saying, never again, I realized something unexpected. I loved it. Not because it was unsafe, it wasn't, but because it was controlled fear. The kind horror fans chase in movies, haunted houses, and abandoned places. Only this was real. That night flipped a switch. I became hooked on scary places to stay. So I started searching for ghost towns, eerie stops, places with history and discomfort baked into the experience. That's how I ended up at another unforgettable stop, a Harvest Host stay in Cisco at Buzzard's Belly General Store. Equally uncomfortable, equally fascinating. Before you click away, let me take a moment to say something important. Thank you. If you're still here, it means you didn't just stumble onto this video, you chose to stay. And that means more to me than you probably realize. Travel is funny that way. One minute you're chasing sunsets, sipping bad coffee at a rest stop and thinking, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And the next minute, your heart is pounding, your instincts are screaming, and you're wondering how you ended up in that situation in the first place. And let's be honest, we've all got that travel story. Maybe it was a sketchy road in the middle of nowhere, a campground that felt a little too quiet, a wrong turn, a storm rolling in, a strange knock on the door, or a moment when you thought, okay, this might not end well. I want to hear those stories. Drop a comment below and tell me about your scariest travel experience, the one that still makes you laugh, cringe, or shake your head when you think about it. Not to scare anyone off from traveling, but because those moments connect us. They remind us that adventure isn't just beautiful, It's unpredictable, humbling, and sometimes a little wild. Now, if all of that sounds like too much excitement for today, I've got you covered. If you're craving the calm side of the road, the deep breaths, the wide open spaces, the moments where time slows down, make sure you check out my latest videos. I've been visiting some of our most serene national parks, soaking in quiet